Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back, and we are going to do our second project from Papercraft Society box 65. And as I've said in all of our series, whenever we do series, you don't have to have this box. You can use whatever you've got in your stash. It's one of those projects, all the projects we do on this channel are adaptable to whatever you've got in your stash. So today we are going to be making what I'm calling a frame box card, or at least I think that's what I'm going to call it. So I'm just going to pop that down on the floor beside me. I've moved from since Monday's video. I've moved the table so that I've got the window in front of me. There are pros and cons with that. I've got good light, but the trouble is the light is shining on the camera and I can't actually see, so I hope you can see more than I can. So for this one we are going to be making a 5x7 card. I'm doing mine in green card, but you can do whatever colour. You can make yours in whatever colour you want. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a crease because I didn't do that terribly well. So there we go. And it's going to be this way up. We could have made it the other way, but we're going to have it opening that way. So we need to make our frames. So you will need, for the long side, you will need two pieces that measure 7 by 2.5. Right, I thought I lost my notes, they're on the other side. And you need to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 and 2. And all of these measurements will be in the description box below. So we're going to make this one up together, then I'm going to show you the other one. And what we're going to do, doesn't really matter which way you do it, but along the score lines, hopefully you can see those, we're going to give those all a press. First of all, we're just going to fold and score along all of our score lines like that. So that just makes it easier to fold it over. And then what we're going to do, we're going to fold it over like that. For this part, I'm going to use red runner tape, but if you want to use glue, that's absolutely fine. We'll be using glue for the next part. So just having a quick look, make sure you can still see. So I'm going to pop that down there like that, pop that over there. Now the easiest way, whether you're using tape or glue, the easiest way of doing this is to put it down and then take this other outer one, line it up like that, and then just pinch it. Once you've got one end in place, pinch it at the end with your thumb and finger, and then do the same at the other end, and then just give the middle bit a bit of a press. Just rub it along with your thumb or your finger. So you don't need tools for this part anyway. You don't need tools at all. I hardly ever use any tools. So there we go, just keep that down. Now the reason I'm using tape and I'm not worrying, because that bit, make sure this is the joined side. This is the bit that you joined, and we're going to join that. Make sure you've got the folded edge facing into the inside of your card, and we're going to stick that onto there like that. So I am going to use my bookbinding glue for that from Craft Stash, my Creative Crafts bookbinding glue. And we're just going to run a bead of glue, a fairly hefty bead of glue actually, because we really want this to stick firm. Right up, make sure you get it right up to the ends. That's the important part really. The middle bit doesn't matter too much. We do need glue on the middle, but the ends are the important bits. So we're going to stick that right on the fold of our card, and I do recommend that you use glue rather than tape for this bit because it gives you more time to get it into place. But don't use I wouldn't recommend using hot glue because it dries too quickly and you'd have the same problem as you do with tape. So just hold that down for a second or two. You won't need much more, especially with that type of glue. Make sure that it's level, and I think it is, so just give it a push, it'll soon straighten up. So there's one. Now you need another one, and you need to put it together in exactly the same way. So just fold it over along the score line and seal it down. And again, we are going to use some glue along there. And you know what? There's something I should have done first. Okay. This week's deliberate mistake. I wonder if I can take that off. Because I should have put a piece of pattern paper down first. I can put it off. Brilliant. Right, so we're going to keep that in. So as long as that hasn't stuck down, you can adapt that. So we're going to keep that in. I'm not going to cut it out because you need a piece of pattern paper. I've used pattern paper from the box, from the set, but again, you can use whatever you've got. And I'm just going to use some glue stick for this, my favourite glue stick, but of course you use whatever glue stick you happen to have at home, or your favourite one. So we've all got our favourites, and you just use whatever you like best. And I'm going to lay that down. So that's the beauty of using glue, guys. If you do make a mistake, like I did, you can easily get around it, or fairly easily get around it anyway. So I'm just going to lift that. We've got some double-sided tape here, and there is a reason for that. I'll think of it in a minute. No, there really is a reason. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put our pieces back on, but just to make sure, because I've lifted that, to make sure it stays, I am going to run a bead of tape down there, and pulling that off has actually pulled the glue off. So I think I need another bottle of glue. I think we'll be all right for this project, but for our next one, I'm going to need to get another bottle of glue out of my drawer. That's no problem at all. I've got plenty. I love this glue, so I buy several at a time, several bottles at a time. So we're going to stick that down. Again, make sure that you line it up with the folded edge of your card, and just give it a gentle push like that. So you can use glue, which will give you the extra time, but if you want it to stick instantly, you can use tape as well. So there you go. So I'm almost glad, you know, that I made that mistake, because it showed you a different way of doing it. So we're going to do that on the other side as well. We've got our glue, but I'm going to run a bit of tape as well, just to keep it down. So if I turn that round just a little bit, keep the folded part on the inside, make sure that's going. I'll show you what that's for in a minute, that tape, well, later on in the project. So stick that down, make sure it's on the outer edge this time, and that it doesn't overlap the ends, otherwise the thing won't stand up. So you now have a piece that looks like that. Now, you need 2 more pieces, obviously for the middle here, and these need to be 4 by 2.5, and you're going to score them in exactly the same way and make them up in exactly the same way, like that, and they are going to sit in there like that. So we're going to do that. In fact, you know what, guys, we're going to do what we did before. I hadn't planned to do it this way, but we're going to run some tape across the bottom there, and where the folded edge is, we are going to pop some glue. Do stick around till the end. If you've seen all this before, this type of thing, do stick around till the end, because I've got a really cute bit to put in the middle. So I'm going to pop that in there, and that should fit perfectly, she says, hopefully. Give it a bit of a squeeze. So, and we're not going to worry about these corners, because by the time we're finished, you won't see them. You won't see those joins, because we're going to put some ephemera on them. And again, I've done exactly the same. In fact, that one's come off, but that's all right. Just fold it down, and we're going to put some, well, we'll put some tape along there, just like we did before. And again, oh, that's lifted. Okay, so what we'll do, just a reminder of how to put this together. Once you've folded it, as this one's come off, let's just pop that to one side for a minute. On one of the end pieces, run your tape or your glue, whichever, let's fold it flat. Once you've folded it, just run your tape or your glue. So just a quick reminder of how to put it together. Fold the glued or taped side in, fold the other outer piece on, and stick it down. Use your thumb and finger just to pinch it into place and stick it down. So a quick reminder of how to put that together. And we've got some sticky glue or some sticky stuff there. Hopefully there's enough glue in. Oh, we're all right. We'll get away with that. So we're going to pop that in there like that. If you need to cut off a little bit, you can, but by the time we finish this, we're going to be all right, because as I say, I'm going to seal those joins with some ephemera by the time we're finished. You know what? Let's do that bit now, because that's going to annoy me, because it looks odd, so that's going to annoy me. So in the top corner there, I've got some daisies that are going to hang down So again, do you know what? I'm going to use glue for this. If it'll stick, I'm going to use glue. So I'm going to put a blob of glue there and a blob of glue there, because that's going to annoy me. So just hold it together and just push it into place. Hold it just for a few minutes, it'll be fine. And you've got that horrible corner bit covered. So if I can find the other daisy, there it is, it's hiding under the other piece of ephemera. I've got loads of ephemera in the corner over here, bits and pieces. So this ephemera is from the box, from Paper Craft Society box 65. But as we say in all along, use whatever you've got. You don't have to use the set. You don't have to use elements from this box if you don't want to, or if you haven't got it. That's no problem at all. Just use what you've got. And if you haven't got any ephemera, I'm sure we've all got stamps in our set. Use your stamps. Stamp your images, colour them in, and then cut them out, and then you've made your own ephemera. Easy peasy. So there we go. That's going to sit like that, I hope. If I need to put some more tape on that just to hold it in place, but I think we'll be okay. Right, now let's do the fun part. I've got some more ephemera over here, but we'll deal with that in a minute because we want to do this bit as well. But also this is why I wanted this. I'm going to take that off now. This is double-sided tape, of course, but in our pack we had a wonderful roll or bundle of raffia. Now if you haven't got raffia, use ordinary paper, I'd say thin paper, not card, and shred it. Colour it first and then just shred it. Tear it up into little shreds, or you cut it up into little shreds. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to stick that onto our double-sided tape. Now there's a reason for that, and I'll think of it in a minute. No, there really is a reason. So we can stick a bit more up here. So wherever we've got tape, we can take our loose bits of paper or raffia or whatever we happen to be using. Of course, you don't have to do this bit at all if you don't want to. It's just fun. Because we're actually making an Easter card, guys. But if you don't want to use Easter, if you don't celebrate Easter, or the person you want to send it to doesn't celebrate Easter, that's not a problem either, because we've got a sentiment to cover that. So we've sort of got everything here. Now, should I save the best till last, or shall I put it in now? Let's put it in now. Now, in my stash, I have found the most adorable little pack. I think I've had them for about 2 or 3 years, of little chicks. Fluffy little chicks. Now that's what that was for. That's going to be a nest. And they're very lightweight. So they will go in. They should, she says hopefully, because I didn't get my glue gun out. I think glue gun would be a bit too strong for that anyway. I think it will just dissolve it. So I'm going to put a good dollop, if that's the right word, coating of tape, and hope to goodness that that will stick to it. And it looks like it will. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to put the other one next to it. So we've got 2 little chicks sitting in their nest. Isn't that adorable? Absolutely love it. So we're just going to finish this off. So in this other corner, do you know what? I'm going to use my tape runner for this. Oh, he's gone under there. So we're just going to use a bit of tape runner for this, simply because it's quicker. So we're going to take that and we are going to cover that corner as best we can. So pop that there and cover that up. Absolutely wonderful. Now you'd never know that had an ugly corner to it. And I'm going to do exactly the same with another piece on the other side. So this time, well, as before, I'm going to stick the tape actually onto my piece of ephemera, pull it up, and I'm going to stick that. Which way should I put it? Doesn't really matter. Let's have it that way. Doesn't really matter, but actually, no, I'm going to put it that way, because I don't want it overhanging the bottom of the card, otherwise it won't stand up. So we now have that. I've got 2 more pieces of ephemera, which I'll probably have coming. Yeah, let's have them coming down there. I hadn't planned this part of the decoration. I was just sort of planning to make it up as I went along, as I quite often do. So we're going to stick that one on there. That one on there. Make sure we cover up all the sticky part. That's no problem. And that is really cool. And for those who don't like to celebrate Easter, that's absolutely no problem at all. We have got a wonder. This didn't come from here. It came from a different pack, and it says Spring Wishes, and I've just got some double-sided tape on the back, and I haven't measured it to see if it'll go inside. I think it will. If we just, well, what we might have to do, I should have measured it, but I didn't. But I want to keep hold of those birdies. So what I'm going to do, it's a little tiny bit too big. So what I'm going to do, if this ever happens, just take off just a tiny slither. I think that's all we're going to need from each end. Then I'm going to slide that in there. I think that'll be fine. Push it down. We've got Spring Wishes. You could put Happy Easter or a different sentiment altogether if you wanted to. If you wanted to build this frame up, the embellishments around this frame, if you wanted to build that up a bit more, you can. That's absolutely no problem at all. Now let me just carefully stand that up. And that will stand up really well. So if I rock that backwards. And there we go. There is our box frame card. Or frame box card, box frame card, whatever. Yeah, box frame card. Let's call it a box frame card. I don't know if that's what it's really called, but that's what I'm calling it. So if you're going to do a coloured card stock like I have, or a coloured card base, what you will need to do, which I haven't done for this one, just, oops, perhaps we'll stick that on with something a bit more substantial. But we will do in a minute. I'll after the video's done, I'll get my hot glue gun out and I'll warm it up. And I'll stick this all down with hot glue. But that's just really to give you an idea. What I'll do for the inside is I'll cut a piece of white card by about 6 by 4 and I'll just pop it in the middle. But I'm sure you don't need me to show you how to do that. So there you go, guys. There is our box frame card, and I hope you've enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Please do feel free to add any comments. And I will see you on Friday with the final project from this series. And again, it's another greeting card, but again, it's totally different. It's nothing like this one, and it's nothing like the one we did on Monday. So do come back on Friday to see what I get up to next. And I'll see you then. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the week. Take care, everybody. Have fun. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.